on the CDC tour. We're kind of expecting something similar again today.
Yeah, and of course, how well he played the last time he was here. He did look a different class. Certainly in terms of
60, Alex Ukar, 46.
Over the pond, he's got to be one that we've got to take very seriously.
Well, he's on for a potential 11 dart leg
Game
to begin the day. Start as you
Spellman.
mean to go on. Alex Spellman has laid down the gauntlet right from the very get-go.
Second leg, Alex to throw
Max
first.
in the leg.
Game on.
11 darter, clinical ending, taking out the 46 in 2.
Spellman
Alex
looking
Ukar,
for the fish, and
170.
do you know what? The way he's playing today, you wouldn't put it past him.
Are you going to get one right?
The bull.
145. Christopher Carr, 80.
What do they say about broken clocks? Well, when both the hands are taken off of it, they're never right.
Game shot on the third
Tunders
leg.
takes out the 80 on
Tunders.
tops to bring it back to 2-1. Double 9.
Game
It's
shot on the
found.
sixth leg. Christopher Tunders.
And Spellman has been taken to the hill for the first time in week 8. Double 11. That's the double 8. So that leaves double 3 inside.
19.
That last one just felt
Alex Ukar,
rushed.
40.
And so Spellman comes back for tops. He's been 3 out of 9 on the doubling. That's his worst doubling display of the week so far.
Game shot on the match. Alex
But
Spellman.
Spellman makes it 6 at the best, but boy was he made to work for it in the end. He got off to a blazing start on the first 2 legs in the space of 24 darts, but Tunders wasn't going to crack amongst the task. He came back, conjured up a last leg decider, but Spellman just had that little bit too much. A 4-3 victory against Christopher Tunders to kickstart our day. Coming up after the break, Jared Cole in action against the reigning WDF World Champion, Neil Duff. Elsewhere, obviously, news came out yesterday from the WDF regarding the Lakeside Championship in December, title that you're going to be defending as the champion of that competition. Was that promising news, positive news for you yesterday that things have been confirmed?
Again, it's probably a bit of a mixed bag. I think, in all honesty, I was probably bracing myself the worst that the prize fund was going to get down. It did get down slightly, but the money's still there, which fair play to WDF. They've pulled that one there off. A little despondent that we haven't got a TV deal. I think for the prestige of the competition that it should be on TV in some capacity, YouTube. But we'll see what happens between now and then. But yeah, I was happy enough that the prize funds there. A few other bits and pieces regarding next year's tour, whether we do it, whether we don't. Obviously, I'll get a sit down with Gareth and we'll talk about it. But as far as the Lakeside goes, it's going ahead, so it can only be good news.
We look forward to seeing you defend your title. We look forward to watching you today, Neil. Good luck.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Exhibitions and person appearances, because Neil will tell you himself after he
Game shot on the first leg.
victorious.
Neil Duff.
But 63 isn't a gimme, especially now. 45 left.
5 for tops.
Game shot on the fourth leg. Neil Duff. Jared Ukar, 24.
So double 12 for Jared Cole to get over the line. A
Game
much
shot on the match,
improved
Jared
display to start the day for Jared Cole as he deposes of Neil Duff by 4 legs to 3, and it puts him level of points with the Duff man at the top of the table. It puts him into 3rd spot, on to 6 points with an 86.13 average, 4 out of 9, much improved finishing stats for him. As for Neil Duff, an 84 average, he was word perfect on the doubles. It was a lack of scoring power that did for him in the end. Coming up after the break, James Richardson, who begins the day bottom of the pile, taking on Bradley Roose.
38. Bradley Ukar, 60. Game shot on the first leg. Bradley Roose.
Bradley Roose gets it done in 15 darts to break the throw of Richardson, despite 2 maximums in that
Second leg,
opening
Bradley
leg.
to through.
20 for tops. Double 10.
Game
Found
shot on the
3-1.
fourth leg, Bradley Roose.
Convincing performance so far from Bradley Roose.
Pretty convincingly 4-2. And another disappointing and frustrating match for Richardson.
Game
Pins the
shot on the
double
match,
5,
Bradley
gets
Roose.
the win. Clench of the fist. That is a big win for Bradley against Richardson. 4-2 in the end. Averages very similar indeed. 83.02 Richardson, 83.85 for Bradley. 2 180s in the game. They went to the man on the wrong end. James Richardson, just 2 from 16 was his undoing. Up next, Neil Duff back in action against Christopher Tunders.
This for an opening leg break. A leg he seemed out of. It's a leg that he could win
Game shot on the
with 2
first
double
leg, Christopher
19s.
Tunders.
Todt.
Yeah, our TikToks.
177.
They've been quite popular recently. Not that I've seen any of them, I'll be honest. but
135, near the car,
No, I'm not
154.
a TikToker, personally.
This could make a highlights reel. Tops.
Game shot on the
that
second leg,
is
Neil Duff.
magnificent from the Duff man.
3-3-1 in 6, 1-7-7, followed by
Third
the
leg, Neil to through
1-5-4
first. Game
checkout.
on. Near
And
the
so
car,
to continue the
75.
breakathlon, Duff looking for 75. Hasn't really cleaned it up from the 101. But can he recover? By pinning tops.
Game shot on the fourth
How
leg, Neil
many
Duff.
times, one dart in hand, is Neil Duff going to find tops this week? Tops for Duff to get his first victory of
Game
the
shot on the
day.
match,
Tops
Neil
is
Duff.
found for Neil Duff to put him on to 8 points and to put him as the ultimate chaser for Alex Spellman in this group. Christopher Tunders, well, that's 2 4-3 defeats to the top 2 players in the group. And it sees him as he walks off stage, second bottom of the pile. For Duff, well, he came at clutch when the moments were big, wasn't he? 1-5-4 finish and a strong deciding leg sees him the 4-3 victor against Christopher Tunders. Coming up after the break, it's Alex Spellman against Bradley Roose. Break of throw is going to go down for the 19s. Single leaves tops. Tops for Spellman.
Game shot on
At
the
his
second leg,
clinical
Alex Spellman.
best. 2-0. 107 for Spellman for 3-0.
Andreas Harrison, who we've seen
Game shot
Saturday
on the
night,
third
and
leg,
Dennis
Alex Spellman.
Nielsen, also victorious, 4-1.
4.
Twos never lose. And it
Game
seems
shot
like
in the match,
Spellman
Alex
can't lose
Spellman.
either, because that's 7 in a row for the American, who gets the better of Bradley Roose by 4 legs to 0. A little bit of a puff of the cheek. That's as much of an emotion as you're going to get for him. And perhaps that average sums him up. 100.2. 15 darts a leg on average. 60 darts to get the job done. 40% on the doubles. 2 ton plus outshots. Yeah, that is class in a glass. And Spellman is class. Coming up after the break. Cole against Richardson. And it's kind of come and gone for him from there, as Richardson stares at the barrel of double
Shot on the match,
16
James
for a
Richardson.
4-1 victory, which puts him onto 4 points, and it keeps Cole locked on 6. And so, ruthless by name, ruthless by nature, a 14 darter to seal the job for James Richardson. 4 out of 8 on the finishing, an overall average of 88.25 for Jared Cole. 1 out of 6 when it came to the doubles for the king of the castle. Upon our return after the break, it's the beginning of the 3rd round of fixtures for the day, which sees Bradley Roose take on Neil Duff.
44.
So 44 for the match for Neil Duff. This would put him on to 10 points and put him 4 behind Spellman. It's double 16.
Game
to
shot on
win the
match,
game
Duff.
by 4 legs to 1, and it was attritional at times, but Duff got over the line, just showed that little bit of class, that little bit of quality to get the better of Bradley Roose by 4 legs to 1. Doing so with an average of 80.87 despite 14 missed darts at a double. Duff over the line, a 4-1 victor. Christopher Tunders and Jared Cole comes next.
Christopher Carl, 125.
1-2-5 for Tunders. Bull. 25. Bull!
Game shot on the 5th leg. Christopher Saunders.
Beautiful finish.
And wants double 16 for a 4-2 win. And just sneaks in the
Game shot
corner.
on the match, Jared Cole.
And Cole conquers Tunders. Just confirmation that that double 16 went in. That was a really good performance, that from Jared Cole. 92.72 average for Anderson. And just explaining what happened with that double 16 at the end there. Yep, I threw it into the double and it found its way in. It hasn't always happened for him this week, but it happened on that occasion. Well, Christopher Tunders found a fantastic 1-2-5 in the piece. Bull 25 bull, but it came in vain in the end as Jared Cole sealed out a 4-2 victory. Next up, Richardson Spellman. The treble is found. And he's going to get a dart at tops to seal a 4-2 victory and to make it a perfect 8 from 8. And he had to ride his coattails at times, put him on to 6 points. It would plant Roose to second bottom in the table. It's double 5.
30.
It doesn't go.
62.
It's going to be one dart in hand. The dart's going to be at double 16.
Game shot on
And
the 5th leg.
found
Bradley
last
Roose.
dart in hand, and that's a break for Bradley. Back to 3-2. Just spurn a match dart. Can he find a match dart? But he can't find the second treble.
96.
And
Christopher
so he
Carl,
has
16.
to watch on and hope that Tunders can't find this double 8,
Game shot on the
which
match,
is
Christopher
notched.
Tunders.
First time of asking. Disappointment on the face of Bradley Rose as Christopher Tunders wants out the 4-3 victor. And you can see the relief pour from his face. An 81-88 average, 4 out of 10 when it came to the finishing. And that moves him on to 6 points. It locks Bradley on 6 points. Coming up after the break, James Richardson can make it a hat-trick of players on that mark. Or Neil Duff can really stretch his lead from 4 spots. Can he just nudge one above?
100. Neil Lucar, 36.
He asked the question of Neil Duff. Does Neil have the
Game
answer?
shot on the match, Neil Duff.
There is your answer, and he gets it done 4-3 in the end, an average of 80.90, 87.08 for Richardson. Only 180 in the match coming from James Richardson. He was handy enough on the doubles when he got a go. The problem was he didn't get enough chances this time around, so it is Neil Duff who closes the gap to 4 points on Alex Spellman, and Alex Spellman will be looking to stretch that in the next match when he faces Jared Cole.
Jared Cole, 120.
Ladder time. What can he see of that? Because his darts stand up, there's very little to look at. But he finds the treble. He
Game shot on
finds the
first leg,
tops.
Jared Cole.
And that's a good recovery from the first dart.
Yeah, remarkable second dart.
Alex Lucar, 84.
Opens up the door for the break back. 2 in hand at double 12. This would be from the 11 darter potentially.
Game shot on the 3rd leg.
And just
Alex
when we thought that
Spellman.
perhaps the warning lights were beginning to be signalled for Alex Spellman, he puts in an enigmatic leg. Spellman's magic spell. Is it Expelliarmus?
Game shot on
Yes,
the match,
it
Jared
is.
Cole.
An 11 darter to see the job off by 4 legs to 2, and Jared Cole becomes the first player to beat Alex Spellman.
At least a 6th leg. Something we didn't see too frequently yesterday.
180.
He's thinking, why now? Oh, hello.
180.
This is a bit exciting. Well, Spellman isn't going to land a 9.
58.
Well, yesterday when he hit a 180 of his first visit, he went 3 treble 19s to leave bull, bull, bull. I said on that occasion, if he does it, I'll retire from commentary.
133.
There was a few with their fingers crossed, Henry.
59.
He's done here. Giving himself a great opportunity to get it done 4-2.
134.
Oh, this is a beautiful leg. 180, 133, 134, 54 after 9. Possible 11 darter. Something we've only seen from Spellman.
96. Jared
Maybe the king of the castle has Spellman's magic spell. Is it Expelliarmus? Yes, it is. An 11 darter to see the job off by 4 legs to 2, and Jared Cole becomes the first player to beat Alex Spellman this week. An 89.91 average was enough to get it done in the end. A 120 high out, and 4 out of 7 when it came to the finishing. Perhaps uncharacteristically as far as Alex Spellman was concerned. 2 out of 13 when it came to the doubling. That was quite troubling for him, and it means there's still work for him to do. Cole's opened up a 4-point buffer now on the rest of the pack when it comes to the third, fourth place split. Richardson Tunders kicks off the final round of fixtures for the day after this.
This for car 74.
All about the 14s on 74, but that's a slip into the treble 11, which leads in double 16.
Game
Finds
shot on
double
the second
16.
leg.
Good
Christopher
recovery from the
Tunders.
first start on to move into a 3-1 lead. Well, those 7-4 shouts looked quite interesting before the beginning of the game. However, Richardson's found himself a max, leaving himself on double 19. And down to go up there, Tunders.
121. James car
And
38.
leaves himself on top. However, Richardson, double
Game shot on
19,
the fourth
pin with a
leg,
plum,
James
and back to
Richardson.
2-2. Hampshire, England. Double 16 for Richardson.
Game
to
shot
lead
on the fifth leg,
3-2.
James Richardson.
He's hoping to be here on Saturday. This to save it. It's double 9.
Game shot on the
Clutch
sixth
for
leg, Christopher
Christopher to
Tunders.
send us to a decider.
Case. Double 8. Double 4. Gets
Game
it.
shot on the marks, Christopher
And
Tunders.
gets the win, and you can see the relief from Christopher Tunders as he picks up the valuable 2 points, and he closes the gap to himself and Jared Cole to just 2 points now. Averages, again, no surprise, it's been a theme of the last 2 days that Richardson has the higher average, 93.48, 88.55 for Christopher, but it is Christopher who takes the spoils. Coming up, Bradley Roose against Jared Cole.
Made it worse, and Jared might punish again. Oh my goodness.
28. Bradley
Semi
car
singler font
105.
now. 105. Be heading along to the 16s corridor here, because the single leaves himself double
Game shot on
16,
the fourth
finds
leg,
it
Bradley Roose.
to pinch the leg out the pocket of Jared Cole, back to 2-2. So
9.
Bradley
Bradley
Rose has an
car
opportunity
60.
to win the match.
20 and tops.
Game shot on the
He
match,
finds
Bradley
the
Roose.
tops, and he ends the day picking up the points against Jared Cole. Led 2-0. Bradley reeled off 4 on the spin. He ends his day on a high, 84.63 for Bradley, 82.82 for Jared. But the big game coming up next, our final match of the session, Alex Spellman against Neil Duff.
$10 for tops. Tops for Spellman to stay in it.
Game shot on the
Oh,
sixth leg,
that
Alex
is
Spellman.
An absolute clutch finish. And so 112 for the comeback win. 12 for tops. And
Game shot of the
Spellman
match, Alex
has
Spellman.
clawed that one out of the depths of defeat. He has clinched a clutch victory over Neil Duff. A kiss of the board, a kiss of the double, which may well have helped his hopes of qualifying for Saturday night. It means the gap is 6 overnight. Alex Spellman with a 96.03 average gets the better of Neil Duff by 4 legs to 3. It means that there is a bit of a bridge to gap between the top two on the final day's worth of action. For Neil Duff, he was 3-1 up. He had a dart to win it. But Alex Spellman, the victor in that big last game of the session by 4 legs to 3.
Yeah, there might even be a gap to bridge as well. Chris Vay said after that one, Alex Spellman turning it around. Neil Duff's going to be kicking himself, isn't he?
Yeah, he was for large parts of that match. He was the better player, but there was a couple of times today Spellman could have come unstuck, but he just sticks to his guns, doesn't he? And it was a lovely finishes in the final 2 legs of the match. But yeah, Neil will be scratching his head after that one.
Yeah, let's just recap what's happened today. We did kind of call it at the start of the day that this last match would be ultimately decisive.
And it felt that way,
yeah.
didn't it? It felt like a big game before it, and it was something we gave the big build-up, and it didn't disappoint.
We thought it might not be when Neil Duff was beaten by Jared Cole earlier on. He had a really decent day, but it kind of went wrong for him in the end as well, Jared.
Yeah, he'll be frustrated losing to Bradley 4-2 because he looked like he'd started to turn a bit of a corner, started to get a bit more consistency in his game. His finishing improved, but he's experienced enough to know that, listen, you don't lose the opportunity to win the week on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. As long as you're in the mix Saturday night, you have every chance.
Yeah, and he was the one who beat Alex Spellman, ending that 8-game unbeaten streak. And that moment is where we start to think maybe this isn't over.
Yeah, well, there was that opportunity because that gap could have been even reduced even further. But listen, you give players like Alex Spellman a sniff, and they'll take every advantage, and that's exactly what he's done.
Yeah, just staying with Jared Cole for a moment. He lost his last game. It would have been 4 out of 5 for him, Jared Cole, before he lost to Bradley Roose, and he had a chance to win that one as well. Messed up a 65 checkout, didn't quite work out for him there.
Yeah, I think he'll be happy enough to walk away with 3 from 5 today. He knows there was an opportunity to win more, but it feels like outside of Spellman, it feels like a seriously competitive group. I think we're just seeing, Neil Duff being the second best player in the group currently on form and statistics, and then the next one, there's the next sort of group of 4. There's not too much between them.
Yeah, but it did turn out, didn't it? That last match was always going to be the crucial one. It's 6 points versus what could have been 2 points going into tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that has ended. I mean, mathematically still possible, but I think maybe a bit of fatigue for Alex today. Looked tired, looked physically tired. I think a good rest tonight, and he'll come back refreshed tomorrow and just kick on and get the group done. Still got a battle on our hands for Group B, and the players trying to avoid Group C. I was surprised at James Richardson today. I really expected him to have a good day. He didn't play particularly badly, but again, just the one win.
If he was feeling fatigued, Alex Spellman did really well those last couple of legs to pull it out. He had a 177 in there, a couple of good finishes as well, including a 112 to win it. Yeah,
I think we're going to see it now, and I'm sure if you could have spoken to Neil Duff, he'd have told you this is flying in. There was a couple of visits in the back end of the leg with Neil Duff just peppering the treble 20 wire, and it wouldn't go in. Nothing would go his way in the end.
Right, Neil Duff, look away now, because we're going to show you the league table, and it's what could have been, because he could have, as we said, just been a couple of points away. 6 points one day, is that too many?
Yeah. I just can't. Alex would have to lose all his matches tomorrow. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Neil Duff and Jared Cole will go on to take Group B, but James Richardson could become a bit of a spoiler. It can't continue for him to he's getting absolutely no luck whatsoever. The level he's playing at, and to only win 2 from 10 games is remarkable. Going back to Alex, and I'm not fatigued, what you find is when it is your last match, you know it's your last match, and you just don't leave anything in the tank. You can empty it because you know, right, I'm going back to the hotel, I'm going to get my head down.
Yeah, just on James Richardson as well. Maybe it's just written in the stars that he's destined to meet Josh in Group C later in the week.
Well, that's not a bad thing, because I think the last time they met, they gave us a 9-darter. So, that's always interesting. It's a fascinating dynamic to see father and son. We've seen two brothers competing, of course, Saturday afternoon in the ADC belt. We're going to see a father and son in Group C on Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, more than just top spot to play for. It looks like that is going the way of Alex Spellman. But do join us to see if he does cross the line and who goes into the other groups for the rest of the week. We will return 9:30 a.m. live here on the YouTube channel and, of course, on Sporty Stuff TV. So we will see you tomorrow.